Hello and welcome to another video of DAX Wednesdays. In today's video, we're going to have a look at two DAX functions called max and min. Max and min. These two DAX functions belong to the aggregation family of DAX functions. Let's move to Power BI for the demo. Over here, we have a Power BI model ready where we have a data set which has 5 columns: number with numbers in it, text with text in it, date with date in it, and the final 2 columns which has numbers in it. We have created in the report view these two visualizations, the one in blue and one in yellow. Now coming back to our DAX function max and min, the purpose that we use those two DAX functions is pretty straightforward. When we need to find out a maximum of let's say 2 numbers or minimum of 2 numbers, we use DAX function called max or min. In order to understand these two DAX functions, we are going to put in a measure which starts with a DAX function called max. Now, there are two ways in which you can use this max or min DAX function. Either you can put in the column name. So for instance, if I were to put in the column name of number, it will provide me the maximum of all these numbers which belong to the number column. Or there's another method which we'll talk about later, in which we can put in an argument or an expression which returns a scalar value. Now the reason that I have two different visualizations, one in blue and yellow, is here is to just make this differentiation between when we use column name as the argument or when we use an expression which returns a scalar value. So let's put in the column name number. So we'll put in max and min, which is the table name, and inside a bracket we have number over here. Perfectly fine so far. Now we have our DAX measure, or we have our measure already added to our data model now. So I will put in a card visualization over here in order to show what value this DAX function or measure has returned to us. So we've used the number column as the argument for our max DAX function, and it has returned to me 98, which is, of course, you can see the maximum number of all these numbers that we have. Now we have two different columns. This is to illustrate that the data type of that column can be either number, text, or date. Now let's see what happens if I do put in text which has a data type text. It will return to me this word zebra, because in the alphabet it has provided to me the text which has a higher alphabet. Between A and Z, we know that Z is the highest, so it has written to me zebra. As from the max function, I can put in the date. So when I put in the date, it has written to me 6th January, which is the largest among the 6 dates that we have over here. We can do something for similar to minimum as well. So if I have to put in minimum, it will provide to me the minimum date among all these dates, which is 1st January. We can do that. Something similar to text, it will provide to us this time alpha, which is between A and Z. It is the text, the first letter, first alphabet has the minimum value. And similar for number, I should be changing this measure to min. For number, it has given me 5, which is the least or the smallest number between the ones provided in this column. So this is when the max or min DAX function takes in the column name as the argument. Now we're going to move to the other method in which we can use max or min, in which we use an expression which returns a scalar function. So for instance, if I do, let's say, move this card visualization over here, changes back to max. Now I'm going to use the second method in which we will be putting in an expression. So since we have these two columns, find the average of column 1. I'll close the bracket and I'll put in a comma. So now here we do put in the second expression or the second argument for the max function. So let's put in, let's say, average one more time for column 2, and we will close this bracket. Now you'll see it has returned to me this value. So what max has done right now, the DAX function max, it has first of all found out the average of column 1 stored in its memory, then it has found the average of column 2 stored in its memory, and then it has applied the max DAX function on the two averages that it has found out, and it has written to me the maximum or the greater number between the two averages, which is 33. I can do something similar for min. So this time around, if I want to find out what was the least averages between the two, it will return to me a value which is 25, which is of course smaller than 33. Now there are few what if scenarios for the second method. Now let's say what happens if one of the expression is blank. So instead of the second average, let's put in blank. Say okay. So whenever we have a blank as one of the two arguments or one of the two scalar functions, Power BI will consider the blank as 0. All right. So when I asked a minimum of the average of column 1 and blank, which is 0, of course, the answer is going to be blank. Now let's see what happens if we have to put in max instead of min over here. Changes to max and this to max again. Now you see DAX function this measure will return to me the highest between or the larger number between these two scalar functions. One is the average of column 1, which is 33, and the second being blank, which is considered as 0, which is of course the maximum number between 33 and 0 is 33. So this was one what if scenario, and if both scalar functions are blank, it will return to us and blank. So these were the what if scenarios that I wanted to check with you. There are different DAX functions that we need to use in the case where the data type is, let's say, boolean. We're going to have a look at it in a different video because I did not want you to get confused with all that. For the time being, I hope you understood what max and min DAX functions are and how we can use them. We're going to have a look at max x as well as max a, min x, and min a in the videos to follow. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this video. I will see you in the next video.